Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. We are here for our live Golden Bachelor review. We're already on episode 5. This is the visit right before the hometown visit. So we're back with Mel and the ladies. Thank you so much. Come in, and I would appreciate it. If you are not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Please like, share if you would like to. Thank you so much for watching. This is Join the Live. And also, Team Replay, if you come in after the fact, I appreciate that. Everything said on my video is alleged. It's my own personal opinion. If I use any material, share any pictures, it's a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, where the allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. I appreciate so much. Thank you. And like, share, and subscribe if you see fit to do so. Thank you. Again, I'm Sandra P's Gen Extra. Welcome to my live review of The Golden Bachelor. The young man right above me is Mel Owens, and he is a retired NFL player. He also, in addition to that, he is an active attorney. So we have this episode. They start with Mel and Cheryl. They do kind of like an overview where they're in an ice bath, but that comes later in the episode. They're trying to allude to romantic activity in the ice bath, but as we see later, that did not happen, and I could have done without that, but that's how they began the episode. So we have Carol and Cindy, two of the contestants. They are discussing that they haven't had a one-on-one date yet. We know every week Mel Owens gets together. He does a group date, and then he has a one-on-one date. He hands out the roses, usually on a date, if he sees fit to do so. At the end, they have a rose ceremony. That's where they cut the different women. Let me make sure this is, excuse that. Okay, I'm trying to make sure everything is oriented fine. Okay, so Carol is crying because when they come out, they get the letter as to what they're going to do that day. They read the names off. When they read the multiple names, those are the ladies going on a group date. So Carol cries when she hears her name because she knows she's not going to get a one-on-one with Mel. And this is the last series of dates that they're having before they leave to go to the various ladies' hometown. Now, they can only go to 3. So he's going to choose 3 of the ladies that he has the closest connection with, hopefully. So then we get Jesse Palmer, who is the host. I like this host. He's a very nice host. He's from Bachelor Nation. He's hosted other things. Jesse is telling the ladies that Mel's saving all of the roses to give out at the rose ceremony. So this is different. He's actually not going to give them a rose at the end of the date, no matter how good the date is. So for their group date, the women are going to something called Butterfly Mountain. There is spiritual and energy, as Mel Owens is telling us, in this place. And he says he thinks the ladies are spiritual and like positive energy as well. So he says that goes hand in hand with the connection. He wants to see how their energies align. So go ahead, Mel. I didn't have him down as a energy type guy. He seemed more of a jock, but I guess he is a multifaceted man. They have a shaman there. Her name is Danny, and she says she's there for sacred experiences. Okay, Shaman Danny. We have Peg, which is 62 years old. She's the firefighter. She is excited to be there. They have to write down what they hope to gain or to achieve, or what type energy they want to get rid of. So she's writing down helplessness, her feelings of unworthiness or not being enough. I was sad to hear Peggy say that, because she's at this stage in her life, she absolutely shouldn't feel that. But I'm glad that she can recognize it and try to work on it. Mel says he wants to get rid of any friction in his life. So Mel's easygoing. He wants easygoing life. So then next, the other ladies share different things they're going through. Next, we see Mel Owens in a mud bath with Peg. They kiss in this dirty water, y'all. That wasn't romantic to me, but they kiss. They're talking about the hometown dates. That's front and center of all of the ladies' mind, because Mel is going to have to spend more time with one of the women. And then Peggy says, well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We know her hometown is Vegas. She's the firefighter. Nicole is the yoga instructor. She's from Miami. She's one of the women that kind of let all the other women know that she has different ambitions for herself on this show, other than just leaving with Mr. Mel Owens. So she wants more than the Golden Bachelor. Nicole actually wants to showcase her business. She wants to sell yoga packages. We're going to find out some more things. So Nicole says, I'm more confident because I picked up on nervous energy with some of the ladies. I don't believe Nicole really likes Mel, y'all. I think she's here for her own purposes. And the lady that could have outed her, Robin, the one that was a financial advisor, and she also owned a winery, she declined to tell Mel who the woman was. She was just leaving all these breadcrumbs, but Mel was not picking up what she was putting down. So Mel, you gotta be quicker than that. These ladies are much quicker than Mel. He's a sweet man, but they are running rings around him. So next, we had Cheryl. Cheryl was the one that came in on the motorbike, the beautiful dark-haired lady who had that story about her son being kidnapped and then the father coming back into his life and them having a relationship. She and Mel have had this connection since she came in on the motorbike. She's had a great solo date with him. She feels like she's falling in love with Mel. So Mel tells her that he feels like their initial connection has not gone away. Cheryl says she would love him to meet her family. And then later on, we see Deb. She's saying the same thing as Cheryl. And Deb seems really heartfelt as well. She's a 65-year-old fitness instructor. If I could show the group of ladies, some of these ladies have actually gone home. Yeah, I don't know if that was the best change, but I'll leave that up there because that's a great picture of Mel as well. So Mel asked Nicole, now Nicole's a Miami yoga instructor, where would she like to be in 5 years? Nicole's saying she wants to write a plant-based cookbook. And then she said, let me have a kiss for the cameras. She said that. I wrote that in caps. She actually said that. So remember, Nicole is the one that Robin was speculating might not be there for TV. And it wasn't just speculation. When they were baking lemon bars in the last episode, Nicole was actually saying what some of her ambitions were. So then we get a confessional from Mel. Mel's finally, it's clicking. Mel says, a few things that Nicole has said give me a little bit of pause. And this could be what Robin was talking about. Wow, Mel, you think so? You think so? And then as they were walking away, she was like, hold my hand, get this angle. Okay, for the cameras. Nicole was being very, very out there with it. I always thought she was overly aggressive. And now I see why. She has a lot more that she wants to do in relation to this show. And it's not just related to Mel Owens. So I'm glad Mel has opened his eyes and he's kind of seeing more, not just what the ladies are showing him. Because I feel like he's missed time with some of the ones that are not as aggressive. And Nicole is amongst the most aggressive, but to me, her motives are not pure. So the shaman is in the clearing. Mel is saying that his relationship with Carol is expanding. She got a rose on the last group date. She's one of the other ones without a solo date. She said, Mel says he wants to clear the chakras, or maybe the shaman said that. Carol asked, what's that? So the shaman is explaining that. Carol's saying she wants to go and talk to Mel. The shaman is asking Mel and Carol to communicate with the little boy and the little girl inside them. So Mel feels like they're in a great place, but he asked her, what would the hometown visit look like? Carol says she's full of doubt, but she needs to get some things off her chest. She says she wants to connect, but she feels like she's miles away and that she's not really connecting with Mel the way that she wanted to. I think it's because she didn't get the one-on-one date. So she and Mel are alone now, and she's telling him all this. He's listening intently, and she says she doesn't know that they will make it to the family visit. I feel like since she didn't get the one-on-one date, thank you so much for coming in, Angela A. Angela A. is my friend, one of the moderators. Thank you. So she says she can't really admit it to herself, but she has to. Mel tells her to be true to herself and that her feelings come first. So y'all, Carol decides that Mel is not going to meet her family and that she wants him to walk her out. Carol decides to take herself out of it. I think she knew she wasn't getting a rose and she just wanted to end it without being just left on a shelf any longer. So I'm kind of sorry to see Carol go. She was one of the women. She described herself later on in the process as being a little shy. So this was not the format for that, because somebody like Nicole, who is by no means shy, even though she is not there for Mel, she's getting all this attention, the one-on-one dates. I feel a little badly for Carol, but I'm glad Carol took her future into her own hands. So Mel saying he's shocked. He says it hurts the soul. That's what Mel said. So Mel Owens in this episode, he's this, hippy dippy guy. It hurts the soul. And Carol must have called somebody at ABC because there's a black SUV already waiting. So she evidently already told them. Cheryl is the lady that she was telling Mel she has feelings for him. She's falling in love. She was standing in a distance kind of watching. Cheryl, that was a little creepy. They were having solo time. Why are you there? But she's down there watching. I couldn't see at first who it was, but then later I saw it was Cheryl. Her mouth was hanging open, y'all. She started running to tell the other ladies. They're waiting for they're on a group date, but they're waiting to be pulled aside for a little solo time. So she comes running back and she said, I saw something and it didn't look good. I'm so sad. Carol's in an SUV. She's leaving. So we see Carol in the SUV doing her last confessional to the cameraman. She says, I feel like Mel is a great catch. He's just my catch. But now I'm confident I can meet my love. So I'm glad Carol had a positive experience in the end. I don't think I'd be strung along like that either. You're not getting a solo date. You're not getting any more time with Mel. He's not going to the hometown visit. What's the point? Good morning, CC. Welcome in. Thank you so much. CC came in. She is a moderator, speaking to Angela A. and everyone in the chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. So then Mel meets with the rest of the ladies. And we see Cindy. Cindy is the other one that did not have a one-on-one date. So Cindy got the one-on-one date. That kind of what, to my view, put Carol in that spiral where she knew, I'm not going to get a one-on-one. So Cindy got the one-on-one date. Cindy is preparing for her date. She's got her cowboy boots on. Cindy's a pretty lady. She's the one with, she has a couple of young adult daughters. They're like in their 20s. So they're the age of Mel's sons. So that they will make a nice little blended family. So she walks up. She looks good, y'all. She got a little denim skirt on. He said, that's so Texas of you. So she's in her cowboy boots. And when he sees that, he says, well, we're actually going to hike. She says, in Texas, that's kind of the same thing. Hiking boots and cowboy boots. Ma'am, I'm not from Texas, but that is not the same thing. So we'll have her talk to us later. Because remember, these ladies are in their 60s, as is Mel. Mel's 66. He's actually older than a lot of the women, even though he started out telling us he liked 45 through 60 and don't give him any wigs or broken hips. So Mel actually, he's kind of piped down once he sees the great shape these ladies are in, because I don't think he can keep up with most of them. Mel lets us know he hasn't been on a horse in over 50 years or maybe even 60 years. He remembers being on a pony as a child. Cindy says that's okay. That'll come back to him. Cindy starts to tell Mel the story of her divorce. She didn't want to be bitter. She worked not to be bitter. She said that her parents were divorced when she was young and it was a terrible experience, but that her dad. Welcome in, Amber Schwark. This is a live Golden Bachelor review. Thank you so much for joining us during the live. Okay, and she said she married the ex because he was family oriented. She went through a divorce at a young age. She didn't wish that on anyone. She said when she had her daughters, she stayed home for 20 years. So, wow, she stayed home for 20 years. She was a stay-home mom. Then she said she found out that the marriage wasn't everything that she thought it was. Cindy says that when her daughter, Sarah, told her that it was going to be Mel Owens, I guess the daughter's familiar with sports because she said, oh, Mom, they picked him for you. So the daughter was excited. And Cindy expresses to Mel that her feelings are getting genuine. Now, this is actually probably the third lady to say something like this to Mel. I don't find Mel to be all that talkative, but I do find him to be a really good listener. Something about him is inspiring these ladies to think when he does even a little quick one-on-one, they feel like he is locked into them and that they really have a chance. So they kiss. Mel says he has something for her. He gives her this scroll, this paperwork that he takes out. It's a star. They are at the observatory, which Cindy said was on her bucket list, which I thought was really sweet. That was a thoughtful gift. So they kiss. She says she's falling fast for him. She feels like their stars are aligning. So I thought he had a really good date with Cindy. I thought that was nice. Mel says Cindy's what he's looking for. She said she would love to be a part of his future and beyond. He's everything right now. He's the sun, the moon, and the stars for me, all wrapped up in one. I said, okay, now, Cindy, that's a lot. If you feel that, I don't think I'd tell Mel that at this point in the game, but This is what Cindy's out here doing, y'all. Mel then is sitting with Jesse Palmer, the host. Mel is telling him that Debbie, now Debbie's a 65-year-old fitness instructor that has never been married. He and Debbie had that cooking date. Let me see if I can show y'all Debbie. He and Debbie had a cooking date. They get along really well. Actually, that's Debbie. She looks like Sabrina from Charlie's Angels, the original Charlie's Angels. Debbie's a pretty lady. She's 65, so she's the same age as, almost the same age as Mel. He's 66. So we get to see the ladies doing FaceTime calls with various members of the family. Remember, hometown dates are coming up. There's only going to be 3 of them. So there's only going to be 3 roses that Mel's going to give out for these dates because logistically, he's going to be flying over the country to meet their families. So they have to limit the number. And then we're on episode 5. He's narrowing down the ladies. Inez Martin 01. Hey. Thank you so much for coming during the live. I appreciate it. Good to see you. And this is the Golden Bachelor. This is a live review. So the ladies are having FaceTime calls with their different daughters. Jesse Palmer's the host. He's talking to Mel while these phone calls are going on. And he's saying, I think Peg is very impressive. That's the firefighter, one of the blondes. He said, when I look at her, I see fun. Peg is a lot of fun. Mel said he's looking for things that are outside his comfort zone, which Peg is very active. All the ladies to me are more active than Mel. Remember, he was in the NFL for years. And then now he's an active attorney, but sometimes something about the way Mel moves, in the past, I call him Weeble Wobble. He don't fall down, but he's not as spry as the other ladies. So that's another reason why I was kind of surprised that he had these thoughts about their age. And this is the Golden Bachelor. He's 66 years old. He's older than everybody that's left. So Mel is saying that there is a lot of attraction between he and Nicole, but he's starting to see a little red flags in Nicole, which the ladies saw early on. Remember, they didn't write it out for him. They didn't give the name, but Nicole is the one that's from Miami. She's the yoga instructor. She's aware of the camera. She wants to write a book. She wants to sell these yoga packages. So Nicole's kind of a mess. There is the physical attraction. Remember, she's the one had her legs wrapped around him when they were at the pool party and the other ladies got upset. So Mel is telling Jesse he hasn't gotten enough personal information about Nicole. And from what he does know, he doesn't know if she's there for the right reasons. Mel says he's at the difficult part of the journey where he wants to find out what is the best fit for him. So next we go to the rose ceremony. The ladies were on the home phone call. Debbie called her sister. She was saying she really wants to introduce Mel to the family. Debbie, the lady near me, she's in this cooking video. She's from Detroit as well. We found that out last week. We know Mel Owens is from Detroit. So, and I think they're a good fit. I think they have good chemistry. I think they look good together. Mel, to me, has a type. He likes dark-haired, brunette, darker women, and his ex-wife. Cece was in here one week telling us about the ex-wife. She's impressive as well, and she was Brazilian. So they have a similar look as to what Mel likes. Now, Nicole is a blonde, but she was very aggressive, and Mel didn't say no to all that attention. So Peg had a call with her daughter. The daughter is happy to meet Mel. Now, this rose ceremony, this has Mel pacing because he doesn't know who he's going to pick. Only 3 of these ladies are going to get a rose because he has to travel and do these hometown visits. So he says he's having reservations. He's having second thoughts. Cheryl is crying. She's doing a confessional. She's saying, if it ends tonight, I don't know. It's going to break my heart. Cheryl, I think you went in too hard and too fast. Cheryl was the one with that story with the kidnapped son. Cheryl wears her heart on her sleeve. I'm a little concerned for her, y'all. So Mel is sitting there with his head hanging over these 3 roses. We see Debbie. Debbie says, of course, we want Mel to meet all of our friend and family, but this is the last piece of the puzzle. Everybody's not in it for the right reasons. They still throwing digs at Nicole. It's true. It is true. And then he said, Mel is saying, well, there's going to be at least one of the women that are left out. Thank you so much, CC. I appreciate you. Thank you. So Jesse Palmer wishes all the ladies well. Jesse's the host. Mel says, you all look wonderful. Family is your biggest protector. Family should have your best interest at heart. And I don't take that lightly. I have utmost respect for all of you and how I'm going to choose these hometown dates. So he starts giving out the roses. Cindy, who he just had the solo date with, gets the first rose. Mel's going to her hometown. Peg is next. Peg is the firefighter that the daughter was on the phone saying, Ma, they picked him for you. She gets a rose. Mel's going to her hometown. And then, of course, Debbie. Debbie's from his hometown of Detroit. Debbie's never been married. Debbie's sister was on the phone, all excited to meet Mel. She's getting a hometown visit as well. So left on the shelf, y'all, are Cheryl, which I felt sorry about because they had a connection earlier. She came in on that motorbike and she just kind of stole Mel's heart. But she does have a lot of drama. Cece pointed that out one week. She has a drama. She was the one with the kidnapped son. So Cheryl and Nicole, they're not getting the hometown visit. Also, they're not staying in the house. Again, we're at the end of the road as far as the episode. We're only on 5, but then we got hometown visits and then a few more solo dates. So Nicole is in the camera. She said, I was manifesting. If I think I get it, I'm going to get it. Luckily, she did not get it because toward the end, once I saw what Nicole was on, I don't want her for Mel. I don't think she was there for the right reasons. So the ladies that didn't get selected, Cheryl, namely, she's crying. Nicole's not really crying. Nicole is she's a cool customer. She's telling the ladies, it's okay, it's okay. But Cheryl, I feel like, was crushed, sincerely crushed. Jesse Palmer, the host, I like Jesse. Jesse's Canadian. He's so friendly. He's saying, ladies, I'm really sorry. I don't think he's anybody actor. I think he used to be in the NFL as well. But when he says that, he always seems like he is really sorry. I'm really sorry. If you didn't get a rose, take your time to say goodbye. Take your time. I'm sorry. So the ladies start telling each other how much they love each other and good luck in future endeavors, this, that, and the other. We know they'll see each other a few more times. They're going to have, some of the ladies are staying in the house, the 3 for the hometown visits. And then they also have, The Bachelor always does good reunions. So they all get to engage with each other again. So he has to walk Cheryl out. She walks right up. She said, it's been an amazing journey. I want to say thank you. She takes him up on the offer to walk her out. And I feel like Cheryl was sincere. Nicole, I don't feel as badly about. I think she was a grifter. I think she, in my opinion, I don't want to be tough on Nicole, but she would want to kiss Mel in front of the cameras, always jumping into the other ladies' photos. I feel she was to sell her yoga packages, which she told us, and then also to sell cookbooks. We find out she wants to write a no meat cookbook or a plant-based cookbook, something. So Mel's getting emotional as he walks Cheryl out. He wishes her the best of luck, thanks her for the time they spent. Cheryl says, you are amazing. I wish you the best. Cheryl will not have any problem dating. Honestly, none of these women will. Because a lot of these men, Mel's agent that are in the wild, they are desperately seeking women. And I think they're going to go younger. Honestly, if they're down with the 45-year-olds and they're 66, the 45-year-old is getting something else out of it. Because I'm sorry, 60 plus, the men, they're not in the greatest shape. A lot of them not even making it to that. So Mel Owens being 66 and thinking he can pull a 45-year-old without pulling out some money, I don't know how that's going to work. But y'all, that was the end of the episode. This was a really good episode. We find out who's going on the hometown visits, which will be, he's going to Cindy's hometown. Cindy's somewhere in Texas. Debbie is from Detroit, and then Peg is going to be Vegas. So those are going to be 3 really good, really fun home visits. And I'm going to keep this, it was a good episode. I'm going to keep this kind of a short review, because if you're able to come back at 10:30, it's 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, probably another 40 minutes or so, I would appreciate it. I have Bravo extras that I'm going to do, which are going to be Married to Medicine has dropped their trailer. Some news about Married to Medicine. We have Bravo extra news on Real Housewives of Potomac. I have a little update on my BravoCon journey. Sandra P is free to move about the cabin. That's going to be me covering BravoCon for my own travel series that you can find right here on my channel, Sandra P's Gen Extra. But thank everyone that joined me during the Golden Bachelor review with Mel Owens, this young man right here behind me. He's narrowing it down, y'all. So I will appreciate you. I will see you in these YouTube streets. Please if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Bye, everybody.